Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Mic check, check, check. Alright. Welcome to the Driving with a Douchebag, really? Douchebag Podcast, episode 7, I think? I'm not sure. But, welcome to the podcast. This is a live podcast, actually. I'm live streaming this, actually. This is not a recording of a live stream, or a live stream of a recording. This is an actual recording, or live stream. God damn it. My apologies. I have had a kind of a rough day today. Really. I had an interview for a job, and I got the job, fortunately. But to do that... Shut up. Shut up. Okay. Now that I turned that off, you couldn't hear it, probably, hopefully. Okay. What was I saying? Goddamn. My mind's not okay. My mind is fucking everywhere at once. I've had a rough day. I've had an interview. But in order to make that interview, I had to call my boss the day before, my current boss, and say, hey, yo, can I come in at like 12 or whatever? And I came in at like 12:20. But he said, yeah, just like be here at 11:30 instead. No, I said 12, he said 11, I said 11:30. We settled on that. And it took a lot longer than I expected. But I got the job, fortunately. So I'll be able to not worry as much, you know? First thing, I have notes. I have notes here of what I want to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is No Man's Sky. This is a nerd podcast, entertainment podcast, video game podcast, wrestling podcast. I like to go all over the place with this. I don't know. It's just my time to record my thoughts, so to speak. Or just blather out nothing and then for fucking 30 minutes to an hour and call that a fucking podcast. God damn, it's thundering like fuck out here in Kansas City, Missouri. By the way, take that down. Holding D's Nuts. I am your host, Holding D's Nuts. That is me. We are live from Kansas City, Missouri. Look at that beautiful fucking skyline, man. That's my fucking home. Holy fuck. Alright. Back to the podcast. There are a few things I want to talk about. One is No Man's Sky. Reviews are out, and it didn't live up to the hype. I wanted to buy the game so badly. But fortunately, I wasn't one of the ones pre-ordering the fucking thing. So. But No Man's Sky probably made their money back in pre-order sales. And all the things that they promised, we only got like half of them. And not even that, we got half of half. So a quarter. I sucked at math, fuck you. So No Man's Sky, it was It promised us a lot of things. It promised us the universe in a video game. And somewhere in the back of my head, I figured that's not possible. There's no way that they're gonna be able to do that. See, No Man's Sky did something brilliant with their marketing. It surrounded the marketing in mystery. The marketing itself surrounded the game in mystery, which is the feel that they wanted you to feel, but you don't feel it because there's not enough shit to do in the game. Apparently, I don't know, but reports are in, and it's eh. But see, No Man's Sky, they did everything brilliant in terms of marketing. Brilliant marketing. They did everything that Ghostbusters didn't do. New Ghostbusters, of course. See, Ghostbusters at first relied on the nostalgia factor. But as time went on, and the first trailer leaked, people were thinking, oh, fuck, this is gonna fucking suck, isn't it? And so, to counter that, Paul Feig and friends basically fucking shamed us into going, or at least strains. Fuck you, Paul Feig. You fucking piece of shit. But, nonetheless, fortunately, Ghostbusters, unlike No Man's Sky, Ghostbusters didn't make all of their money back. Not even close. They made the production value back. They made, what was it, $17 million profit from the movie itself. But all the fucking marketing, all the money spent on marketing this movie and pushing this movie out, and all the money spent fucking getting like fucking Paul Feig interviews saying, well, if you don't go see this movie, you're fucking sexist. And then you got the fans saying, fuck you, no we're not, we just don't like this shitty ass fucking movie. Anyway, the Ghostbusters marketing backfired. And there should be a lot of people at Sony fucking fired for that shit. Because Sony lost a lot of fucking money. No Man's Sky didn't. No, it's a shit product, but it's brilliant fucking marketing. Absolutely brilliant fucking marketing. Sean Murray, I think his name is. We'll just call him Fuckface McGee. Fuckface McGee said that No Man's Sky was basically going to be like Minecraft with like better graphics or some shit. He promised all these glorious things. Multiplayer. No one has, as of fucking live streaming this, no one has fucking found each other on No Man's Sky. So we don't fucking know if there's multiplayer or not. Fucking customization or like different styles of like fucking aliens or some shit. You can customize the names of ships. You can't. Fucking, it's not gonna fucking happen. And basically, it's he answered the whatever questions that they had leading up to No Man's Sky for, what was it, 3 years? 3 years? They've been building this game up. And through those 3 years, the guy, from what I've seen, answers questions in the vaguest fucking sense. Like, will there be multiplayer? And he's like, Well, I'm not saying there may be but they may not, but there may be multiplayer. I don't know yet. It's not up to me. Yes, it fucking is. Fucking fuckface McGee, motherfucker. Speaking of video games, I want to get to this segment, the recorded segment. Me and the second douchebag kid talked recently, and we just started, and this is speaking of video games. We're talking about video games. This kind of ties in with the theme of that. So, if it'll play, here's the segment with the second douchebag. Of the podcast, and I'm here with the second douchebag finally again.
Gary.
We were talking about mods we could do for Fallout 4, and the topic of Gary came up. And what we decided to do, well, if we were smart enough, was
we could mod the game to.
We could mod the game to just your character, the sole survivor, is just Gary. And as you start out, the beginning of the game is just Gary. Gary.
You're the one. Maybe you're a clone. Maybe you're the original Gary. And no, you be a clone Gary. And you just go around the wasteland, and every time you say a line, be Gary.
Well, because you were like born, like I guess before the war, you'd be like the original Gary.
No, I mean it'd be kind of funnier if you were just a clone Gary who had no mind of like what to do. He's just going around and he's just doing whatever it comes, whatever fetch quest is, and it's like Gary.
And the dialogue options remain the same. Like, I want you to tell me more about this kidnapping. It's just Gary.
And there's like the full 3-sentence line at the bottom, but all he says is Gary, and then you cut back. It's like, wait, there's more. You have to pause the game or pause the video to read it really quickly.
Yeah.
God, that'd be funny. I wonder if we could do that.
Yeah.
If you sent me your clips from Fallout, I could play it. Like I could edit it with like all the lines. So
could, yeah.
if you record the game, make a really good Gary clone.
Yeah.
And then like I would just go through it in post and just put Gary at the very. I mean, you'll get the joke pretty quickly, but I think it would catch on. Like you have and just call it Fallout Gary's mod, and then like, of course it'd be fake, but just to have that on the thing, and people would be like, wait, it's a Gary's mod Fallout, I knew it, and then you actually watch the video, it's like, oh, it's actually Gary in Fallout, it's not a mod, it's just recording.
Yeah.
God dang it.
But then some other people that are smarter than us actually make the Gary's mod for Fallout 4.
I would love that, just to go around as Gary. And even in combat, like you would say like Gary, and like when you get hit or something, so it's like what?
And then as you like, or make all the raiders Gary.
Ooh, oh, that could be funny.
Just like make everyone else Gary but you.
Oh God. And that you couldn't play the game at that point. It'd be like you go up to someone whose name is Gary and you couldn't tell the difference, and then every line they say is Gary, and it's like quest accepted. What the set the quest of? And like the quest has like the full detail and everything in the regular game, but all he knows is Gary. Quest accepted, like, and then you turn it in Gary, quest done. What? What did I do?
And then the death claws when they come out of the ground, Gary.
No, I say, I don't know, I think leave them, but have every single other human as Gary, even like the weird ones like Tinker Tom and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You have them all as Gary, so like when he wants you to put his sensor on every building, all he'll say is Gary, and it's like a whole explanation, but this is Gary, and you're like, sure, I'll do it, Gary. And it's like, quest accepted. What? Here's the sensor in my hand, what am I doing with this? Oh wow, that would be one of the best moments.
That would be glorious. I won't give in till I'm victorious.
Well, no, the other thing is too, you'd have to rewrite the coding from scratch just to get Gary's in everything. God, that'd be terrifyingly hard to do. Like, now, okay, to be fair, people have before. Yeah. They modded Fallout games to the point where they basically not even followed anymore. Yeah. And they made some mods that changed everything from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like Half-Life, they basically recoded from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I don't know if you can do it in Fallout very easily.
Isn't that where Gary's mod originated, or is that Team Fortress 2?
No, that's Source Filmmaker. Gary's mod. Oh God, I should know. He was just working on this mod for fun. No, it was Half-Life.
Okay, yeah.
He based off the Half-Life characters, but the guy who made it actually is doing Rust now.
Yeah.
The game Rust. So he's now on to entirely his own game entirely of Rust. But I'm not gonna play Rust.
Yeah.
It is basically the game of who can be the biggest dick.
Yeah.
And I've heard horror tales from my other coworkers about when they play Rust. It's like, yeah, I logged off for a bit, came back, and my whole base was gone. I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you can't save your base. It's like, if they find it, you're dead. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
So they're just finding creative ways to just destroy everything that you built.
Yup.
So yeah, I'm not gonna play Rust or Ark Survival Evolved for that matter, because it does also become a game of who can be the biggest dick.
Yeah. That's basically what the Cold War was in a nutshell. Or rather, who has the bigger dick?
It's like, I'm not gonna use this bigger dick, but I've got the bigger one.
And I saw like all the atomic explosions since 1945.
Oh.
There was a whole video of it.
Okay.
And United States wins, of course. It's the number one bombity bomb.
Bombity bomb.
It's the bombity bomb bombers.
What the hell? Okay.
Are we going to the highway or something?
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot the lanes, love.
You always forget the lines, love.
Cheers, love. Cavalry's here.
But and there were like a shit ton like Americans bombing the American soil just as like tests.
Right.
And it was more of like, okay, so Nagasaki and Hiroshima happened.
Right.
And then Russia and US went into the Cold War or whatever.
Right.
Russia set off their own little bombs as tests. US hears about it. They set off a shit ton of other bombs.
As tests.
As tests in like Nevada and New Mexico and shit.
Say, hey, we've got the bigger dick than you.
Yeah. Nothing actually, like they bombed themselves.
Just to show like, hey, I bet you're watching.
Yeah.
Bet you're watching me drop my dick everywhere.
It's basically like a more lethal pissing contest.
Yeah, basically, but the piss is a nuclear fallout, basically. Yeah.
And we had enough nuclear bombs to basically make Fallout a reality.
It still terrifies me that is a reality.
Not everything is like all the major population centers would be just uninhabitable, basically. I mean, like, not everything would be bombed.
Right.
But all the major cities and all the major, like, all that shit.
Yeah.
It'd be fucked. Like, you could go into the middle of Kansas and be fine. But, like, if you're in Boston or Kansas City, you're fucked.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I still am terrified that Fallout's a reality. Like, you can do a Fallout. Like, that's a real thing that could happen.
Yeah.
I don't want that, but I mean...
No one really does.
To be fair, I guess we played the game enough to know what to do, but at the same time, it's like, maybe not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be in Fallout, but to play the game is cool.
Yeah.
Just to want to be in Fallout.
Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ. Alright. Alrighty. That was the second douchebag. That was Kid. Had a long day, man. Alright, what else we gotta talk about? Okay. Wrestling time. Okay. So, after that, SummerSlam was okay. I enjoyed it. I don't remember, and I'm going to talk about this later, but I don't remember much of SummerSlam. All I remember is Brock Lesnar fucking busting Randy Orton open the hard way, which I'm assuming that's relatively easy for him. So, and then you heard, like, Chris Jericho. Fucking, he was in the gorilla position when Brock and Randy came back from the match. Brock came back first, and Chris Jericho apparently started yelling at him for busting Randy Orton open. And I don't know why. I mean, I understand Chris Jericho is like a professional. He's like the consummate professional pretty much. And he, like, the number one rule in wrestling, or at least one of the top 5 rules, is safety. Like, you want to keep your opponent safe. You don't want to actually hurt the guy you're working with, because they're there to make money too. You know? You're not actually fighting. It's scripted, obviously. But you don't want to hurt them. No one wants to hurt anybody. And these guys do the most to protect themselves and to protect the guy they're working with. So, and I think Chris Jericho takes that very, very seriously, which I understand. But SummerSlam was okay. I watched Brooklyn 2, Takeover Brooklyn 2. That was fucking awesome. My God. That was fucking amazing. That show was fucking amazing. Watch that shit. I'll review most of Brooklyn, most of it, as my NXT review rolls on up in a bit. But there was, I forget to mention, like, a couple of matches. Austin Aries and goddamn, what was the fucker's name? Austin Aries and Cien Alma. I think that's who that was. It doesn't really matter because they had a good match, but I don't remember most of it. And again, I'll talk about that later. But I don't remember most of it. But as far as I know, they had a good match. But Hideo Itami came out, the former Kenta, and gave Austin Aries a GTS, the move which he innovated. So I thought, yeah, he came out, I'm like, yay! And he goes to Austin Aries, and fucking Austin Aries, well, they start fighting, and Hideo gets the upper hand, and everyone just starts chanting, GTS, GTS. So he gives them a go to sleep, and the crowd popped huge for that. But anyway, Brooklyn was fucking awesome. I watched Raw and SmackDown. Again, I don't remember much of it. So, I was going to watch it before I did the podcast, but I didn't. For some ungodly fucking reason. But, let's talk about NXT and CWC. The Cruiserweight Classic. Cruiserweight Classic. I watched it. I don't remember what happened. Like, I know in my head who... Here's the thing. Let's go back to NXT. I enjoy how NXT recaps the pay-per-views and what happened the week before, because I forget a lot of shit that happens on every show. Not just that, so it's no fault on the part of WWE and NXT. I just don't have the most glorious memory. Like, there are things that stick out to me, and there are things that are they're entertaining, but they're not as glorious. I got too much shit to worry about to remember every single fucking match and every single fucking moment that happens during 11 hours of wrestling. 11 hours of wrestling, not including ROH or TNA. Because what is that? 3 more hours? 11 hours, 3 more hours, 14 hours. That's more than half a day of wrestling, people. It's more than half a day. That's 14 fucking hours. So not including that. A little less than half of a day worth of wrestling. 11 hours. You got SummerSlam, which was 4 hours. You got Raw, which was 3 hours. SmackDown, which was 2 hours. NXT, which is 1 hour. CWC, which is 1 hour. That's 11 hours. So, again, I have too much shit to worry about in my life to remember every single fucking wrestling match and every single fucking wrestling thing. That's why I have notes now. That's why I type shit out on my notepad, on my computer, which I'm looking at right now, and it kind of relates this week to the movie of the week, Memento, which we'll get to after the NXT review. But Ty Dillinger came out, the start of NXT, and I think he's going to be like the next Dolph Ziggler in terms of he's talented, but he's never going to get that push. He's never going to... He's talented and he's over like fuck, but he's never going to get that push. He's... I mean, I think his gimmick itself is entertaining. Ty Dillinger himself is like... I think he's pretty forgettable in terms of... not necessarily in-ring technique. Less so that and more so charisma. I don't know. I like the gimmick. Like the gimmicks they think of on NXT are fucking phenomenal. And they have like almost like everyone is over on that roster. And most of that, a lot of that is due to their fucking gimmick. Which is great. Because that's... If you need a gimmick to get over, that's fine. But... Anyway, Ty Dillinger had a match. Pretty sure he won. I don't know. Because I don't fucking care. I don't... I don't fucking care about Ty Dillinger, man. But they showed a segment. They showed the goddamn, what was it? Cien Alma versus Austin Aries match. They showed a recap of that. Then they showed fucking Hideo Itami coming out and giving Austin GTS. And Austin Aries had a promo. He cut a promo. And that they showed during NXT. And I like his promo. I like that they're putting over the TNA guys instead of burying them right away, especially so for like AJ Styles. Because AJ Styles has gone over the fucking moon. I mean, since debuting. And Bobby Roode is still fucking over. Austin Aries is fucking over. They just signed Eric Young. And so he's going to be fucking over, probably. Or at least people are going to know who the fuck he is. At least in the NXT crowd. I don't know about the main roster. But one thing... okay. Bayley and Asuka at Brooklyn was fucking awesome. My favorite match of the night. Bayley lost, obviously. But that doesn't matter since she's on Raw now, which is cool. That's the one thing I remember about Raw, and even I don't even fucking remember that all too well. I read it off my fucking notes just now. It literally says, Bayley and Asuka at Brooklyn tonight was capital fucking awesome exclamation point. My favorite match of the night. Bayley lost, which makes sense since she's on Raw now, which is cool. Those are my notes. I have a shitty fucking memory. I'm sorry. There's a reason why I have a shitty memory. And it's either A, because I don't care enough. B, they took out my right temporal lobe when I was 14 and part of my parietal lobe. I mean, like the whole fucking thing. Part of my parietal lobe and the whole right temporal lobe. So I'm missing a part of my brain. And that part of the brain, like, it had to do with verbal memory and audio interpretation and shit like that. I always read what the right temporal lobe is about. I always read to myself. I say fucking... Okay. Let's Google it right now. Right temporal. Hunting and pecking. I'm holding my mic in my other hand. Lobe function. Thank you, auto search. Alright. Temporal lobe functions. Okay. Yeah, so it has to do with memories. Pretty much. The two temporal lobes of the brain are divisions of the cerebral cortex located on the lower side of each cerebral hemisphere. The right temporal lobe has many different functions that complement left temporal lobe functions, and new information is being discovered all the time. The major functions of the right temporal lobe are nonverbal memory, nonverbal aspects of communication, aspects of pitch and sound location, and certain aspects of personality. Memory. Temporal lobes contain structures important for memory. The right temporal lobe is utilized to process nonverbal memories, such as memory for pictures, visual scenes, familiar faces, routes or directions, and music. But may also contribute to verbal memory, which is a primary left temporal lobe function. The temporal lobes do not store all these memories, but instead encode new information and relay it to the other systems of the temporal lobe. The other systems of the brain to be stored. Thus, if the right temporal lobe is seriously damaged, the person may remember many previously learned scenes, pictures and music, but she will not be able to form new memories of these. Thus, if the right temporal lobe is seriously damaged, the person may remember many previously learned scenes, pictures, and music, but they will not be able to form new memories of these. Well, I'm able to form new memories of pretty much anything, you know. I just have trouble remembering. I can form memories, I just have trouble, remembering. Okay. Personality. So there's pitch and nonverbal communication. Let's see, what personality? The right temporal lobe is often involved in aspects of personality. Research on individuals with severe right temporal lobe damage indicate these people are often egocentric or unable to consider the perspectives of other people. They can be long-winded and empathetic when speaking, have trouble moving from one topic to the other, and can stick to one topic to the point of being inappropriate. Well, that's not true of me. They may display aggression and paranoia, yeah, a little bit, and are often obsessed with strict religious or moral concerns. Not really. I don't fucking care. But then again, my right temporal lobe is removed, so. And the thing is, I can never remember if it has to do with fucking verbal memory or non-verbal memory. And it's a little bit of both from what I can gather. Anyway. So, back to NXT. Revival Brooklyn Revival versus Gargano and Ciampa was good. I liked it. Okay. Shinsuke versus Joe. It's fucking amazing. The music you heard at the very beginning of the podcast, that was Shinsuke's music. And the violin at the beginning, like nya 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 nya. That wasn't there on Shinsuke's theme before, but they took the broadcast, the sound of NXT Brooklyn too. They took that, edited out the crowd sounds, and just left the music. And if you listen closely to it, you can hear the fucking the crowd at some points. Anyway, Shinsuke and Joe is fucking awesome. Shinsuke's new champ, fucking awesome. Joe's probably gonna debut on the main roster here fairly soon. I would imagine they would do what they did with Bailey and have one more match. Joe will lose, and then he'll debut. That's kind of the pattern they seem to be following. Anyway, so TM61 or TM61 versus the Authors of Pain. Now I haven't watched NXT in a while, so I had no idea who these fucking guys were, nor did I really care personally. Authors of Pain, their entrance is just a rip off of Kane. If there were two Kanes and Paul Ellering was their manager, that's basically the Authors of Pain. And this match was basically just generic high flyers versus generic monsters. But I still like Paul Ellering as a manager. He still looks awesome as a manager. So apparently the Legion of Kane's names are Akam and Razor. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Now we have a fucking couple of Ninja Turtle villains on the fucking roster. Remember Tokar and Razor? From the second Ninja Turtles movie? The one that Kevin Nash was in as Super Shredder? Tokar! Razor! Only now it's fucking Tokar and Razor. Akim and Razor. Jesus fucking Christ. Alright, we'll be right back. I gotta do... Hold up. Testing. Okay, so it's still running. We'll be right back. I gotta go do some shit first. Hold on. Be right back.
to play the game. Time to play the game. It's all about the game, and how you play it. All about control, and if you can take it. All about your debt, and if you can pay it. All about the pain, and who's gonna make it. I am the game, and you don't want to play me. I am control. No way you can change me. I am heavy debt. No way you can pay me. I am the pain, and I know you can't take me. It's time to play the game. Time to play the game. It's all about the game, and how you play it. All about control, and if you can take it. All about your debt, and if you can pay it. All about the pain, and...
Fuck, that's loud. Sorry about that. I had to go do some shit. Fuck's sake. Alright. I'll probably edit this out in post. Alright, anyway. So, apparently the Legion of Kain's names are Akim and Razar. Apparently Tokar changed his name, but Razar didn't. Anyway, I like the way they honored the old school tradition of baby faces equals white boots and heels equals black boots. Plus, we see more of these guys acting like a team instead of, okay, now you go in. Okay, now I go in. Okay, now you go in. Okay, now I go in. It's been brought back to that more old school way of tag team wrestling, which I like. So, other than that, it was a pretty boring match. Legion of Kain looks strong. I'm just going to call him Legion of Kain, because all Paul Ellering is their manager, and they have a Kane entrance ripoff. So the Legion of Kain looks strong, which is probably the point. I mean, I couldn't really see... Okay. I couldn't really see TM61 getting the win over these guys, because they're just fucking monsters. But they're probably going to be jobbed out like the Ascension once they get up to the main roster, but I don't fucking know. I didn't really care too much for this episode, honestly, as a whole. I kind of like last week. Instead of previews, we had recaps. We had recaps of Brooklyn instead of previews of Brooklyn. Most of the matches were alright, but not great. But Brooklyn is really hard to top. So, quick movie of the week this week, Memento. I finally got a chance to see Memento, and it's an awesome movie. It's a bit of a mindfuck, but it's a good movie. I like it. Fuck's sake. You start off with the main character. I can't remember his fucking name. Why the fuck can't I remember? Let's Google that shit. Memento. Hold on. Memento. Alright, film 2000. Leonard. That's his name. No wonder I forgot it. Such a fucking forgettable last name. So you start off with the film actually going in reverse. And fortunately, they don't do that the whole film. The whole film isn't like played in reverse and you can't understand the dialogue and shit. So, fortunately, it was just that one moment, but I liked it. It was a nice introduction. Then you have, you see this guy, and he's dead. I was like, well, you gave away the ending. So, how the fuck did this come to be? Well, come to find out, Leonard's wife was fucking murdered. And it's a really, really hard film to explain, honestly. It's a very nice. It's a very hard film to explain, but I'm going to do my best. So you start off, and Leonard just shot Teddy, which we find out was the guy's name. Or maybe it wasn't. Christ. He has this other name. His name's John or James something. But he says he's an undercover cop who worked on Leonard's wife's murder. Carrie-Anne Moss. Yeah, that's... I knew that was Carrie-Anne Moss as Natalie. So you go back and we meet Carrie-Anne Moss's character, Natalie. Which, first time I saw Natalie, I was like, is that Trinity? That's fucking Trinity, isn't it? Holy fuck, that's Trinity. What, Trinity, why are you having sex with Leonard? Why are you calling him a retard and then sleeping with him? Because the guy can't fucking form new memories. It's... So... Leonard happened to be an insurance agent. And, fuck, I forgot my train of thought. You know what? Instead of me just bumbling, trying to explain Memento to you, next week, I'm going to have a review. I'm going to have a review of the entire Memento thing. So, that's probably going to do it for me, guys. I hope you have a nice day and no one interrupts you during your live stream. So, later, guys.